I'm convinced. I'm convinced you believe you a thug. You don't know no supers, my super what. Front don't know you. Matter of fact.
So yeah, we are back from day of reckoning. Today is Monday. Saturday was very, very nice. First of all, I would like to say shout out to the gents for organizing such a event. As you guys know, all events has what you call negatives and positives. So we're not gonna dwell or get into those things, but I just wanna say I shout out to the gents for doing that, because the event was amazing. Everything was nice. Like for me personally, everything was nice from the beginning. We got there. Like I said, every event has its ups and downs, but yeah, arrived there. There was a line, obviously, because it's such a very, very big event that has happened today. So, but otherwise, the event was So I just wanted to firstly, give a shout out to the gents for organizing such a event. It was the gents all the way from Durban and other provinces, but yeah, it was Shout out to Makesh and Lindo for giving us such a big, or I would say such an exciting call out. That was one of the biggest call outs on the internet in Mzansi, especially when you look at the old school cars, like old school categories, and BMW versus VR6, those names, Jay. The debate has been going on for many years, and I think that it will never end. The debate will never end. There will always be this car is faster than this car, oh, but that car is not faster than this car. But it's the debate that we love, and we hype, and we get excited. There's Team Voras, those diehard fans for Voras, and then those diehard fans for E30s. You know what I mean? So that for the gents to pull up such an event for specifically those two brands and those two cars, it was So that's out of the way. Let's talk about the track races that happened today. From the get-go, from the beginning, I'd say for me, when we get there, from this moment we start seeing the track races, the E30s were chowing, brother. Yo. The E30s were chowing, like left and right. The E30s were chowing for us. Your 3.2, your 2.8, your 2.9 stock standard. They were chowing. The E30s were there to chow. I won't lie. I won't sugarcoat anything, but the E30s were chowing that day. Oh, like from the beginning of me watching the drag races, the E30s were chowing. I won't lie, guys. The E30s, they were chowing. The only Vora that I saw that was, performing against the E30s, the only Vora that I saw that was giving the E30s a run was this Vora, what's the plate? I think it's 002 RSW. The dark green jet. I think it's OBD2. Yeah, I think so. It was rocking the flower BBS VR6 rim. And when we got there, I think we entered at the same time at OD Raceway, because when we set up our things there, they were also unloading it from the trailer, the 002 RSW. And yeah, we also arrived at the same time with Makesh and Lindo, because they found us there by the line to enter the raceway. But yeah, guys, the E30s were chowing VR6s left and right. I don't know if would say the track is short for the VR6s, but then like a quarter mile is a quarter mile, bruh. If you go to drag races wherever, if they say this track is a quarter mile track, a quarter mile is a quarter mile. So the E30s were chowing. The E30s were chowing, like for real, for real. There was this white chrome bumper 323. I'm not sure if it's a 323 inside the hood. I didn't see the engine of that car, but it's a chrome bumper, the white one, the 323. That one was chowing left and right. R32, 2.8, 2.9. That one was chowing like left and right. And there was this red one with a M3 engine. Yo. I think the only car that outran that E30 with the M3 engine was a C63S. It was a C63, but the new one, the latest model, the bi-table one, not the NAV8. That's the only run I saw that E30 lost. It was against that bi-table. But other than that, the V8, NA, all the E30s, they were there. That raced that car. That car was chowing, bro. For me, that was the fastest car of the day. For me, personally. The red one with I think it's a S50. Yeah. S50 3.2 or something. I don't know, but it's an M3 engine. That E30 was chowing left and right. There was no what you call match for that car. Yeah. There was zero competition against that E30. And then what else? That made a headline there. What else? Oh, I don't know, it's 325 Ndu or what, but the Burgundy 325 with the M20 table. That thing, bruh, when it moves, that thing also moves, bruh. I think I saw it. It went against the CLA 45 and what else? The C63, and I think that bi-table also. And it went against a couple of VR6s. But yeah, that one also moves like for real. But yeah, if we were to sum it up, the E30s won the fight that day. I won't lie. Besides the race of RSD versus Sigamfana, which we'll get to it in a bit. But besides that race, The E30s won. Like, I think the score was like 30 or 20 something wins for the E30, and the Voras, I think it was like less than 10 wins that day. So you can imagine, because it was explaining itself that the E30s I ran the show, Baba. It ran the show. E30, like the day of recording, E30 VR6 at ODI Raceway, the E30s ran the show. I won't lie. But yeah, let's talk about the RSD and Sigamfana race. I'm gonna give my perspective and my opinion and my views on that race. Nah. Firstly, when those cars were called for to come line up, the racetrack became a mess. Like, everyone wanted to take a video, everyone wanted to see that race. Like, everyone, because they were the main show, or like it was the main challenge. I don't know if I put it right, but yeah, it was the main show, RSD versus Sigamfan. So everyone wanted to see that race, and the security guys couldn't. There was no manpower. There was no man. There was not enough security to control the crowd, which it's understandable, because some people were drunk. When the security tells you that, hey, brah, move, get behind the barriers, the tire barriers, or the whatever that were securing the track. People were drunk, they were swearing, it was a mess. So I understand the security team, they had nothing, they couldn't do anything about that situation, from my point of view. When I saw everything, before the race, everyone wanted to capture that race. Everyone wanted to see that race. So it became a mess on the track, because people were like excited to see that race, which is, I could understand it, but it's not safe. So it became a mess, like a real mess. I remember at one point, the cars were lining up there on the starting line, and then they ended up, going down the track to ask personnel, ukuthi, people must stay away off the track. They came. I remember Makesh and Lindo came down the track, asked people properly, like nicely so, ukuthi, gents, please stay off the track. Which is, true, because they go down the track, and then someone is on the track, the E30, accident happens. You know, in life, accident happen. Like, anything can happen. You're on the track, the car coming at that speed, and then you can't be able to run or get off the track in time, or you sleep because there's too many people, one trips someone, and then you are there on the track. You see, it will be a mess. So it was very important for them to address that situation before the race. But people, when they're excited, people when they're drunk, bruh, as spectators, we like to act like kids. I know these things are exciting, you get that adrenaline, but then sometimes we have to think, of our safety as spectators, and also the drivers that were racing would also wouldn't want to be in that situation whereby they ran over someone or some, and then because it's a drag race, bruh, people can lose their life. But yeah, that race, that race, for me personally, ne, like I said on my social media, I go with both cars, guys. I love both cars, like the RSD and Sigan Fan. I love those two cars. I was cheering for both of those cars. The only thing that I wanted to happen on that day, because I think they set up, I think 3 races were supposed to happen, 3 or 4 were supposed to happen between those two cars. I think it was a quarter mile, and I think it was 400 meters and 800 meters. I think so. Yeah, those were the races that were supposed to happen, and the rolling race. So unfortunately, because of the situation that happened after the race, the other races didn't happen, you know. But judging from that race, ne, I don't know if you guys saw, Sigan Fana posted his side of the view of that race. He posted whatever videos, I think screenshots, all the videos of that race. Sigan Fara posted his side, then Makesh also posted his side. So if you look at the Makesh's video inside the car when they were racing, you can hear the car, Makesh is tapping the accelerator towards the finish line. He was letting off the accelerator, stepping on it, letting it off, stepping on it. So Makesh also has his own views. And then when you look at Lindo's inside view of the car, the launch was bad. Third gear didn't engage, he had to re-engage it. Towards the finish line, he let off because there was a lady there by the finish line who was taking a video, concentrating on taking the video. She didn't realize that she's on the track, like on the way of the car. So Lindo, maybe he thought the lady would move because, you know, I saw inside the video he was flashing the lights also to, you know, make sure that the people there by the finish line are seeing that the cars are coming. He was flashing the lights, but then he ended up letting off the accelerator, and then stepped on the brakes because the people were the lady wasn't moving there by the finish line. So, you know, we have 2 stories, 2 views. This one didn't have a perfect run. This one didn't have a full run because he was letting off, getting on it, letting it off. Then Lindo, the gears didn't engage. He had to re-engage. He let off at the finish line. He had to step on the brakes because, you know, safety of the spectators. So, for me personally, I'd say we have to have a proper race between those 2 cars. I think they released the poster saying, you know, nothing would be confirmed up until those 3 races were complete. So I also agree. I think we have to have a proper drag race whereby both of those cars get on it like properly. If the RSD wins, it must win having a perfect run. If Sigamfana wins, he must win having a perfect run. And if Sigamfana loses, he must lose having a perfect run. And then if Magesh loses, he must lose having a perfect run. That's my opinion regarding those two races. I think it will be fair for both of them and both of us as spectators and fans of the cars. You know what I mean? And the team Vora and the team E30. I think that will be fair. Because now Magesh crossed the line first. The VR6 community is not happy with how the situation happened, looking at the race, the run that Lindo had with guests not engaging people on the track. You know, it's not fair between both of them, because now you'd have Vora guys saying, you know, the E30 won because the VR6 didn't have a clean run. You check, and the E30 fans will say the E30 also won, but it didn't have a perfect run. You check, so it's complicated. It's a mess. So I think for me personally, I'd say we need to have a proper track that's managed properly, and then we need to have a proper runs from both of those cars when they race. You know, they have to run it like, maybe I think if we can have like for that day, because I saw that there will be a rematch for those two cars. So I think for that day, for that event, those cars have to be the cars that race like mostly throughout the day. They should have the perfect runs throughout the day. No disturbance, no other VR6s and E30s going head to head, you know. Maybe a couple of them, but then those cars need to have like a proper race throughout the day. The rolling, the 800, the 400, all those races must be 100% proper, so that there won't be any excuses later on. You understand? So yeah, that's my opinion. But RSD showed up. Samson I was doing his thing. Sigamfana, the test run. There's a test run that I posted on my social media. That run was perfect. There was no missing gears. There was no body on the track. That run was perfect. RSD also did the perfect the test run. That run was perfect. There was no letting off the accelerator and what. Those runs were perfect because the track was managed. There was no, people doing crazy things on the track. So I think if we can have those runs, but in the race, we'll have the race for the ages. But yeah, that's my story time for what happened at ODI Raceway. But the event was nice. I had fun. Even after that race, I had fun. But seeing what happened, then I saw Guti. This needs to be ran properly. Because I go with both cars. I go with King Cash at Sigam Fan. Those guys were top. They gave people a show. But in terms of the race, I think we need to run it back and have a proper race. Then everything will be settled after those if after that race is finished properly. But yeah, I'll update you guys if there will be, if it's true there will be a rematch. I'll update you guys, and we'll talk about it. But other way, day of reckoning. To sum it up, the E30s were chowing the Voras, like left and right. There were runs whereby the Voras, won. But throughout the day, the E30s were chowing. The E30s were chowing, like for real, for real. So yeah, make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more updates. Alright?